Good Tuesday afternoon, communication students. It was good to see many of you were able to upload your videos, and I'm excited to spend some time with them. I also know that some of you had some technical difficulties, which I also understand. I'm sorry if the upload time is taking a long time on YouTube. I'm not sure why that's happening. I just know evening time sometimes is just high traffic on the internet, and it can slow things down a little bit. So I'm hoping you're not having technical issues, but if you do, just know that I do build some wiggle room into that, and know that it happens to me all the time. So don't worry too much. So yeah, I just wanted to check in. Assignments are now posted for what is essentially week 9 in the class. We have until week 12 to complete the class. So what I've also done is outline what the rest of our semester will look like, and we're getting down to the end, which I hope some of you, as I said in my message, it's very well deserved, and I know you've all worked very hard, and we got to do one more. So we will conclude with speech 3. 3 speeches in a 12-week class, 4 weeks per class, is online. I think is a sufficient amount of work. So the very last speech we'll do, I like to end on a positive note. We've been talking, our first speech was about conflict, and well, not conflict, it was about defending one side of an argument. The second speech was about convincing us, using persuasion in a different way to convince us, to both inform and then convince us why we needed the information. The very last speech, as we evolve, is that we are going to examine a conflict. And it's a conflict, there are many to choose from. The criteria for your conflict is that it has to have 2 clear sides. It has to be researchable in some way, and I'm asking that it's contemporary. So whatever this conflict is, it's something that's been argued in the last 12 years, even more recent than that is good. And that could be anything. I mean, I think you all are very aware of what topics make a persuasive speech, and I'm leaving that door open. But what I want to emphasize is this is not, you're going to argue one side of your topic. What you're arguing or persuading about in this final speech is the solution. You are presenting a viable solution to a conflict. So let's say you decide that you really want to talk about this whole, the way we're restricting or trying to restrict Ebola from coming into the country, right? Huge conflict right now. There's 2 clear sides. One that, you really can't, we are a land of the free, and you can't, you're infringing on our rights if we want to quarantine or not allow people into the country and all of that. The other side says we don't want Ebola to come in, so we need to take all precautions necessary. So that's a clear 2 sides conflict. And what the process then for conflict resolution, if you've ever done one, and I'm going to have you do one in your real life, is you identify the conflict. You make sure you understand the 2 sides by telling us what the arguments are for both sides. So for Ebola, it's, the side that argues for our freedoms, freedom of rights, is that, the government can't tell us when we can and cannot leave the country, right? That's a major argument from that side. From the side that says we must be careful about, infecting the country, their argument is that, the good of the whole is more important than the rights of the individual. Great argument, and both great arguments. The next piece then is you're looking at the 2 sides, and then you decide, okay, if side 1 does get what they want, we are, let's say, we restrict air flight from infected regions. What are the consequences of that? Like, really, think about the consequences of that. And consequences don't necessarily mean good things or bad things. They mean things that will happen as a result. If we decide not to restrict air flight from infected areas, what are the consequences of that? So before you are persuasive in any way, you're basically setting up the argument. And then, now that you've been able to clearly look at the 2 sides, understand the consequences, you then are going to persuade us as to what the solution is. So what should we do about Ebola? We've got these 2 very important arguments and these 2 sides. How are we going to have them meet in the middle? So in order to do that this week, there's 2 things I want you to do around speech 3. One is this whole conflict resolution thing makes perfect sense in our personal lives, right? So the first part of the activity is to think of recent conflict you've had in your personal life. So maybe it was whose house you're going to go to for Thanksgiving, let's just say, as the holidays come up. Your in-laws, so your husband or wife's family, or yours, right? The topic then is, where are we going for Thanksgiving? The conflict then is, husband or wife wants to go to their home, you want to go to yours. Great conflict, right? Okay, so what are the major arguments from each side? Well, I want to go to my family's because my brother who's been in the Army in Georgia is actually coming this year, and I want to be able to see him. He never comes. An argument from the other side might be, well, we've been to your families 3 out of the 4 times, and it's time to go to my family's, right? So then we look at consequences. Okay, if I don't go to my family's, I don't get to see my brother, and I, my kids miss out on the family tradition of the Turkey Bowl, which is the football game we play every year. And then we do it on the other side. Well, if we don't go to the in-laws, what are the consequences of that? And then once we kind of see what both sides are feeling or thinking, we try to find a solution. And it can be something you've already found a solution to, and you just tell us what the process was, or something maybe that is still conflicted in your life, and maybe this would be a good exercise in trying to find that solution. So you're going to do that in your personal life, and then you're going to choose your academic topic, so Ebola or some other major conflict that's happening in the world right now. And you're going to do some research, and you're going to find out. Right now you think you might know what the 2 sides of Ebola or whatever are, but now you're actually going to go and look and find out. So you're going to answer all those questions that I've just asked and present some research that helps, because that's then going to turn into your speech 3, where we'll take that outline. And your speech 3 is all going to be about what's my topic, what's my conflict, what are the 2 major arguments, what are the consequences if each side gets what they want. And here, I'm being persuasive. Here is the solution to the Ebola, the conversation about, whether or not we need to restrict air flight or whatever for Ebola in the United States. Okay, what's the solution? The other thing is, obviously, you all completed speeches. You're all trying to get those up there on the discussion board. So I would like you to evaluate at least one peer, just one. I know that there's a lot of work probably hitting you right now, so I want to take some of that off. So you're just evaluating one peer this week. You have partners. They give you specific questions you're supposed to post. And then you also have your self-eval, which are the exact same questions. But I think these get a little bit closer to the heart of what I'd like to see in your evaluations. So those are the things that you need to do. I'm going to get on there and take a look at your speeches. And we're gonna finish this class. I hope you feel like you're in the home stretch. And please let me know what you need. I will be available on Online Cafe, or if your messages are the best way to get me. The Moodle messages, I'm always on there. I can always see those. So good luck. Send me questions, and I give you full encouragement as we start this last speech. And we will be done soon. Okay. Thank you all.